Welcome to Carmill Dam, just north of St Helens, a town famous for rugby league. But this weekend host to the second round of the Powerboat GP Championship.
Round one of the F2 Cats saw pre-race favourite Malcolm Goodman go out in dramatic style just a few laps from victory, handing the round to his ever-present shadow, Alan Marshall. Alan, it's always nice to have a little gifted win, but you were following him, but you never really had his pace.
No, I didn't have his pace, but I knew that if I kept the pressure on Malcolm, he's a bit of an erratic driver. And
It was just a spark. He just ran out of spark.
You reckon? That's the party line, I reckon.
Anyway, we've now come to a very different circuit with a right-hand corner in the middle of it. Is that going to favour your boat against his? Do you think you'll be closer to him this weekend?
Yeah, the right hand will favour, and it's a very tight circuit, so if I do manage to get in front at the first buoy, he's going to struggle to get past me, and that's the plan.
But now, of course, there's a bit of a difference in yours and Malcolm's boats. You're running different engines. You're on the high-revving older V6, he's on the new 2.5 litre engine. Is that got swings and roundabouts, or is the 2.5 litre engine quicker everywhere?
2.5 litre engine is undoubtedly a better engine. It's the new green engine, so the emissions are a lot less, and they're phasing out the old 2 litre motors. But the 2 litre motors, its ace card is that they start a lot quicker.
Basically, you should be able to get off the line, you're telling me, quicker than him.
I should be able to.
And once in front, he should be your shadow.
Let's hope.
But after the qualifying session was over, it was neither Alan nor Malcolm who was on pole position as Paul Balfour set the pace. The boats are lined up for the start of the first of the 3 heats that will decide the overall winner. And as Malcolm Goodman found out in round 1, you need to finish all 3 to have any chance. So a clean start is crucial.
So with Paul Balfour then in that pole position, he missed round 1 at Alton Broad, but this is round 2, and pole position then is to Paul Balfour, and Malcolm Goodman still having problems getting away from the line. He had this problem back in round 1 and it's haunting him for round 2, and now he's got a lot of work to do. He's in the back of the field at the moment, and Malcolm Goodman must feel so frustrated, and there he is in boat number 1 in last position. But it's Paul Balfour then who is out in front at the moment and secured that pole position and makes it stick round the first turn, and Malcolm Goodman's got a problem. Malcolm Goodman has wiped out the demarcation buoy, the red flags are waved, and also the turn buoy.
Well, after a late start, more drama for Malcolm Goodman. He's hit a turn buoy, that causes a red flag, he destroyed the buoy, and it also means he's going to be disqualified from the opening heat. Or is he? Well, Goodman was disqualified from that race for hitting that buoy, but he's protested the result. He's been allowed to restart the race under protest. Original grid positions, shortened race.
So with the restart then, and Paul Balfour has to do it all over again to get round the turn first. And, well, there he is at the moment. Paul Balfour in boat number 29 heading off towards the first turn, which caused Malcolm Goodman the problem. Does Goodman get round safely this time? The answer is yes, he does. But it's cost him, and there you can see Malcolm Goodman in the picture. And already he has passed Alan Marshall, and Alan Marshall then in boat number 34 has got Sven Hammer right on the rooster tail. But Goodman is trying to get on with his race at the moment. It still may not count for anything. And there you can see how tight the top end of the racecourse here is at Carmill, and that looks a very, very tricky turn. And it's that rock there, what you just saw in the picture, that causes a lot of drivers a lot of problems, and Sven Hammer being very brave then. Right round the right-hander there is a turn buoy there, which says basically keep away from the rock, because if you hit the rock, it's going to cost you a lot of money and a lot of damage. So round the turn then, and Ian Andrews now finds himself on the inside of Sven Hammer. He's getting on with this race quite nicely, isn't he? Number 9. Hammer still trying to defend his position, but I think it's too late really, and Ian Andrews is now getting on with the race. He's just behind Alan Marshall, who lifts the front of the boat high in the air as he accelerates away from the turn. But we now go round the right-hander ourselves, and this is side-by-side action between Balfour, who is the race leader, and Malcolm Goodman, who is charging for that second position. He's trying to get past Balfour, but at the moment Balfour is in control of things. It's both of their home circuits, incidentally, and Paul Balfour knows just as well as Malcolm Goodman that he knows exactly where to put the boat. He knows exactly how Malcolm Goodman's drive. They race each other at club level and also at national level. And now Goodman tries to attack on the inside of Paul Balfour. But Balfour has wing mirrors on the boat. You can see there both of the mirrors, and he will be looking constantly in them to see exactly where Malcolm Goodman is. Well, as long as it's behind will be the right answer as far as Paul Balfour is concerned. So Ian Andrews trying to catch up with this man, Alan Marshall, but Marshall in 34 had a very good first round at Alton Broad where he was very consistent, and now he's being consistent here as well at Carmill. But Balfour is the man to beat at the moment. He's running the slightly different engine to Malcolm Goodman. He's got the old school engine, the old style Mercury 2-litre SST 120 as they're called in America. But Paul Balfour very, very happy with this setup. It's a wooden boat, unlike Malcolm's composite hull, as in fact is Alan Marshall. He also runs with the composite boat, and we actually now ride on board with Alan Marshall, who is still in that third position. So the race leader then, number 29, round the turn. This Carmill racecourse here has got a right-hander, the only circuit really to run with a right-hander where there's a rock involved, and it makes it very, very tight. And we ride on board now with Graham Palfreyman, who has got Balfour now about to lap him. So that's the lapping situation happening there. And on board then was Sven Hammer. That's the widest part of the racecourse then. That's turn 1 and 2, incidentally. So the race leader then, Paul Balfour, absent from race number 1, round 1 at Alton Broad, but very much on top form today, and sets himself up to win heat number 1 as Graham Palfreyman now stops in the background. But Balfour is the winner of heat 1 here at Carmill. And there you see Paul Balfour takes the win over Alan Marshall, who is second, and Ian Andrews in third place.
Paul, tremendous race that. Could you feel Malcolm breathing down your neck?
Every single lap, every single turn, watching it in and out of all the turns. Just have to set the right line, which he's not going to like.
While the action might have been over on the water, there was still the matter of Malcolm's appeal, which saw him facing a trip to the protest jury, but it was to no avail and the disqualification stood.
I was making up a lot of ground, and I went into the fairground for the second time, and the other two boats were racing. I was racing to come across. I just had nowhere to go, but I decided to go through the buoy rather than through someone else's boat.
With all the drama of Malcolm's appeal over, let's catch up with the rest of the weekend's action.
So with the Formula 4 class being one of the other main attractions at the Carmill National, it was Scott Curtis, the 2011 World Champion, who was to secure a win and dominated the weekend's racing for Formula 4. Luke Hogman was to take the OSY 400 win and winning 3 out of the 4 races over the weekend. In juniors, it was Ben Jelft proving that the 2011 World and National Champion is going to have a successful 2012. And with the monos, the Mono 70s, it was Mark Williams who was to dominate not only this race, but he also finished second in the GT30 class.
Make sure you join us after the break for more Powerboat GP action.